Okay, so this is how to replace a broken spring on an M&R Chameleon. Obviously we busted one right here, so we had to get a replaced one from M&R. It's a direct replacement part. You can go to mrprint.com and look up the part directly. They have all that stuff on there, even broken down in listings by the press or machine that it comes off of. So it's pretty easy to find on there, and you just order the direct replacement part from them. That way you know it's engineered to be the exact same. So that is a direct part, not an OEM part. So on the Chameleon you have these 6 springs, and you could actually run them with less, but you'd want them more balanced out if you intend to do it that way all the time. Like, you would only want 2 on each side. They do have 3 on each side, which is really nice because the big heavy screens can fit there. And that's kind of the point of it. The Chameleon's the upgraded version, so it's a bit beefier. So on the Chameleon you have this kip knob back here, which is the tension for these springs. So that's the first step to it, is to release that tension. Now, a bit of a trick that I learned was to put something under here, some kind of padding. That way when you release the tension, your others aren't falling out, because that's the trick to it, is that when you release the tension, they all become loose and want to fall out of there. But obviously you got to have enough tension off to put the new one in. So that's the trick. You can do it with any kind of a rag or piece of scrap or whatever, but essentially this is just an old hoodie. I'm just building up some padding under there to hold those in as I take the tension off. So right here is where we're going to do that at. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but as I'm loosening it up counterclockwise, this whole bar, which is the tension plate, is moving forward. It's moving towards the springs, so it's loosening them up. So it's all the way forward now in the slot that it runs in. These are getting pretty loose at this point. So we got that done first. The next step is going to be to take this big bolt out of here. Okay, so we got just some basic wrenches, just a 3/4 wrench and a 3/4 inch. This is a deep socket, but you could do it with any basic socket. So this bolt right here is basically what's got to come out. So I'm going to put this one in here, and honestly I'm probably just going to rotate this kip knob around just a little bit. That way that can go in there and actually put pressure on it to make it easier for me. But that's all we got to do is loosen this guy up. So it's loose. I do have my arm down on the head here just to keep it from smashing me in the face, but that's it. So simple lock nut on there. This bolt comes out, and then this whole spacer is in there, and that's it. Tension's off the springs. I mean, they're still in there. There is some tension just because of where we're at, but now I can move this head up past where that bolt was holding it into, and it will release all the tension. So you'll see there it now goes up further, and now the tension is super loose up here. If you don't have one of these little safety nets on, you know, now's a good time to replace that. Order one when you order the spring. That's it. You're just gonna feed that through there. That way it's in the net, and hook one end through. And then on the other end, just raise this up manually to take the tension off. Push that guy in. There's one end. Taking that tension off. There's the other one clipped in. And this is where you want to make sure all 3 still stay in. So like these 3 moved out. So you just got to make sure every single one is still in. And then you're going to put the spacer back in and the bolt and the nut back in. So there, we've ensured all 6 are in. You know, I'll give it a little slight test here just to make sure it's good. It is. So now we just do the reverse. Tension is still off back here. Pull it down, there's the true test. Bolt goes in there first. Spacer goes in between. It's kind of what it runs through and makes it so the arm hits, or the head hits that instead of just directly against the bolt. Lock nut goes back on. And we're just going to tighten that back up the opposite that we just took it off. There you go, that's in. You don't have to crush it on the tightening. That is a